Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about some of the key talking points from pre-season testing from the first day in Bahrain. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. I've also launched a new podcast, it's called Racing Grid. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to the YouTube channel in the description. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So Formula 1 is finally back and action has begun in Bahrain. As we know, pre-season testing is getting underway there between today and Friday, and all the teams got out on track as they made sure their cars were working ahead of the new season. And it's always nice to see cars out on track after the winter break. The day was a bit disrupted, unfortunately. There was a power cut, but that was eventually resolved. And as a result of that power cut, an extra hour was added on to the session. So teams got an extra hour of running today. Now, one of the key talking points for me is Mercedes. Now, I think Mercedes actually looked pretty good today. I'd say they looked much better in the afternoon running than the morning running. You know, in the morning, Kimi Antonelli was in the car, and I think for him, it was about adapting to the car, getting used to the feeling of the Mercedes. You know, at the end of the day, he's a rookie. And he did have some moments, like there were several replays of him getting understeer in the car. Some of his long runs were a bit scrappy, but he did end the morning session as the fastest runner. And then in the afternoon, when George Russell got out on track, the car just looked a lot easier to handle. I think George was putting in some really good lap times with the car. He was at the top of the timesheets. The long run pace looked decent. So yeah, definitely in the afternoon, that Mercedes seemed to come alive a bit more. And speaking about the 2025 W16, Russell said, "There definitely are some first impressions, which I'll keep with myself for the time being and the team. But as I said, there's just been so much hard work going into this new car. It's important not to jump to any conclusions, because we know after last year that circuit to circuit, the performance fluctuations were massive from all the teams. But from what I feel so far, I'm happy." Although one thing you do have to take into account with all this is that it was very cool in Bahrain, you know, much cooler than what you'd expect. There was even a bit of rain in the afternoon session, and typically that Mercedes car responds better when the conditions are cooler. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when the track gets hotter. But as I say, at the end of the day, from that first day overall, I think Mercedes looked pretty good. Now, another talking point for me was Red Bull. You know, there were some laps in both Liam Lawson and Max Verstappen's hands where the car looked good, but then there were several laps where the car just looked all over the place. I mean, there was one point where Liam Lawson spun out of turn 2. Verstappen nearly had a moment at turn 2 as well. He had to abort that lap. And on some of Max Verstappen's long runs, you could see, you know, sometimes he was able to get the car turned in quite nicely. Other times he was getting understeer, running wide in the corner. And yeah, there were several laps that Verstappen had to abort. Now, as we know, Red Bull go into this season on the back foot. You know, last year, whilst they started out the season dominantly, McLaren and Ferrari caught up and their weaknesses were really exposed. But the car going into 2025 doesn't actually look all that different to 2024. I mean, there are some visual differences. You know, for example, there's a slightly reshaped side pod. There's been a change to the beam wing. But yeah, as I say, other than that, the car looks fairly similar to that of the 2024 car. However, Red Bull team boss Christian Horner has emphasised that while the visual similarity is clear for all to see, there's still a substantial design evolution in play, particularly in unseen parts of the car. And finally, we've got to talk about Ferrari. So Ferrari did their running with Hamilton going out in the morning and Leclerc going out in the afternoon. Now, it did look like Ferrari spent most of their time focusing on race runs. You know, Hamilton did around 70 laps in the morning, Leclerc did a lot of laps in the afternoon, and Hamilton finished 5th in the morning session while Leclerc finished 4th in the afternoon session. So there weren't standout times for both drivers. For sure, they did their push laps and their straight line speed looked pretty decent, but on the whole, I think there's a lot more to come from Ferrari, and it did look like they were sandbagging a bit. And there was a moment where Leclerc was at the top of the timesheets in the afternoon, but you know, he didn't really set a proper push lap when the conditions got cooler, when others did. You know, Lando Norris went so much faster as the sun fell, as did Verstappen, as did Russell. We didn't see Leclerc really do anything in those types of conditions. He just stuck to race runs, really. So yeah, as I say, I do think there's still a lot to come from Ferrari, and a report from Planet F1 says that according to Italian publication Gazzetta dello Sport, it's reporting that the rumour from the paddock insiders is that Ferrari will start from pole position, having overtaken McLaren with the SF25. And the report from the Italian publication added, as quoted by Planet F1, the new SF25 is the result of more extreme research than the Ferraris that preceded it, and immediately seemed very fast. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care.